Your Honor, opposing counsel, members of the jury, the timeline doesn't lie. Today, the state is charging Jordan Ryder with involuntary manslaughter. So when we walked into this courtroom, we made you a promise that we would prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that Jordan Ryder abandoned his 12-year-old daughter, Parker Page, on the LaCrone Loop, and that he knew she was injured and that that trail was dangerous when he did. When we met our verdict, not through allegations or implications, but through a simple timeline. A timeline that, if you follow closely, will show you Jordan Ryder did abandon his daughter. That he knew full well the risk he was putting her at when he did. Now you heard today from Cameron Lee and Kelly Dew, who told you that Parker and Jordan were fighting before this hike even started. Cameron Lee told you that around noon, she saw Jordan and Parker arguing in Jordan's truck. And then again at 2:30, she saw Jordan and Parker fighting in front of the LaCrone Loop. And she saw that Parker was limping. Kelly Dews also saw that Parker was limping. At 12:05, Parker texted her legal guardian, Corbin Dallas, "I don't like it here, and my foot hurts." But members of the jury, we have to back up for 1 second. Why was Parker already injured before she ever got on that trail? Well, you heard today that it's because she suffered from brittle bone disease, which Jordan knew about because he read all about it in a letter sent to him by Corbin Dallas. This letter told Jordan that Parker's bones were weaker than most other children's, that even a small slip and fall could result in a shattered bone. So, when Parker was already injured before heading onto that trail, she could have been suffering a medical emergency. But Jordan chose to take her on the LaCrone Loop anyway. And we know that was an irresponsible decision by Jordan because Jordan himself told you that he and his wife had been to the Calkins campground multiple times. And he told you on cross-examination that he saw that that trail was narrow. He knew that there were steep drop-offs on the LaCrone Loop. He knew that there were overgrown paths and roots in the trail. You heard from Kelly Dews, an experienced hiker who had difficulty hiking that trail, and Remy Bouchard, the defense's own witness, who told you that that trail was difficult. So the defendant knew the trail was difficult and that his daughter had a medical condition that would make this trail difficult for her. But most importantly, members of the jury, we know the defendant knew the effect of his actions because when Parker and Jordan were on that trail, Parker told the defendant to his face that she wanted to turn back. But we heard the defendant didn't let her. The defendant told her to keep walking. And he grabbed her hiking staff from her and he walked away. Now, at 2:30 p.m., Jordan and Parker entered the LaCrone Loop. We heard that from Cameron Lee. And at 3 p.m., Kelly Dews got on the LaCrone Loop. So there were 3 people on the LaCrone Loop that day. Now, when Kelly Dews got on the trail, he told you that he saw Jordan and Parker arguing, fighting, jabbing at each other with a hiking staff until Jordan got frustrated and just ripped that staff away. You heard from Kelly Dews that as he was walking away, he heard Parker scream, "I hate you. I wish you had never gotten out of prison." And then he yelled. And then silence. Now, it was after hearing these words, members of the jury and the defendant walked away. And we know that because when Kelly Dews and the search party were led back to that very spot, the spot where Kelly Dews saw that argument take place, the spot where Parker was left when Jordan abandoned her, they found Parker Page's body in that very same spot. Now, a little bit later, Cameron Lee is sitting at the only entrance and exit to the LaCrone Loop, watching people as they go by. Cameron Lee sees 2 people cross that bridge. First one we know is Jordan Ryder. and she saw Jordan Ryder leave the trail around 6:20 p.m. Now the second, she didn't see with her own eyes, but she heard them cross. But we know that person is Kelly Dews because Kelly Dews testified that he left the Lacroix group around 6:30. But defense counsel got up here and they tried to imply that Parker also crossed that bridge. Now the defendant couldn't tell us when he got back from those trails. But we know beyond a reasonable doubt that Parker couldn't have left that trail with Jordan because you have in front of you Parker's autopsy report, which proves Parker died between the hours of 4 and 6 p.m. So by the time Jordan and Kelly left the trail, Parker was already dead. Couldn't have been her on that bridge. 3 people got on the trail, and only 2 got off safely. That was Jordan Ryder and Kelly Dews. Parker Page was left behind. And it's because she was left behind that she tripped on an overturned root, fell to her death. Now, in a few moments, defense counsel will get up here and he'll try to tell you that every witness in this courtroom is lying except for Jordan Ryder. They'll try to tell you about a third person on that trail named Sam Kelly, who we only heard from the defendant. Not a single other person in this courtroom can tell you about Sam Kelly. And the existence of another person at Calkins campground isn't enough to cover up Jordan's actions that day. You have with you a life insurance policy and a napkin, both of which Jordan wrote after he claimed Parker went missing. At 3 a.m., members of the jury, in the middle of the night, instead of asking for help, instead of calling 911, instead of looking for his daughter, the defendant was in a cafe writing, "I'm so sorry this happened. It was all my fault. I was just so angry. I didn't mean to do it." And at 3:12 a.m., members of the jury, we know the defendant submitted a life insurance policy, increasing his daughter's life insurance from $10,000 to $200,000. Now this policy, it wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. He had started it before they ever got to the campground. Members of the jury, the evidence is overwhelming. The timeline doesn't lie. Find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Thank you.
Counsel?